Everyone knows Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time. But what most people don't know is that there are stories so insane, so surreal, that they defy human logic. Today, you're going to hear 7 moments that prove Michael Jordan was not human. He was something else, something unexplainable. If you're a sports fan, get ready. Because after this video, you'll never look at him the same way again. Michael Jordan wasn't just an athlete. He was a force of nature, a phenomenon, an entity that transcended sports, time, and even the limits of the human body. In this video, we're diving into 7 real-life stories, told by teammates, rivals, and journalists that make us ask, was he really human? And at the end of the video, I'll reveal a backstage secret that is still kept quiet by those involved. 1. The flu game, playing with 103 degree Sivan fever. The date was June 11, 1997, Game 5 of the NBA Finals. The series was tied. Every second mattered. Every possession could define a legacy. And Michael Jordan was dying on the inside. Hours before tip-off, Jordan was curled up in a fetal position, drenched in sweat, shaking uncontrollably. Team doctors suspected food poisoning or a severe flu. He had 103 degree fever, chills, body aches, and could barely walk. By all medical standards, he shouldn't have even left the bed. But this was Jordan. As the game began, he stumbled onto the court, visibly pale, his movements sluggish. The crowd noticed. His teammates noticed. Even the Utah Jazz smelled blood. They thought he was done. But then, something shifted. In the second quarter, Jordan caught fire. His eyes still half glazed, he began hitting impossible shots. Fadeaways, drives through traffic, contested threes, all while barely able to stand upright. It was like watching a man possessed, or something not entirely human. He finished the night with 38 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists, leading the Bulls to a critical win and a 3-2 series lead. Coach Phil Jackson, who had seen Jordan at his worst that day, said it best. He looked like a zombie, but played like a god. And then came the image that burned itself into sports history. Scottie Pippen, holding Jordan up like a fallen warrior, guiding him off the court as he collapsed into his arms, completely spent. How do you explain that? A man who had no strength left, who by all logic shouldn't have even played, goes on to dominate one of the biggest games of his life. That's not just talent. That's not just willpower. That's otherworldly. Ask yourself, was that the flu? Or was that greatness on another frequency entirely? 2. The prophetic trash talk. I'm dropping 37 in the first half. Trash talk in the NBA is nothing new. It's part of the game. A mental battle. A war of words meant to throw off even the best. But what most players didn't understand was, you don't trash talk Michael Jordan, ever. The year was 1990. The Chicago Bulls were facing the Charlotte Hornets, a team still finding its identity, full of eager young players trying to make a name for themselves. One of those rookies, bold, maybe too bold, made the fatal mistake of talking trash to MJ during warm-ups. Nobody remembers exactly what was said. Some say the rookie bumped into Jordan and scoffed. Others say he muttered something under his breath about Jordan being overrated. Whatever it was, it lit a fuse. Jordan didn't respond right away. He just looked at him, calm, cold, deadpan, then turned to his teammates on the bench and said, "Okay, I'm dropping 37 in the first half, then I'm done. Not I'll try, not let's see what happens." Just a cold mathematical prophecy. And then he walked onto the court and unleashed hell. Mid-range jumpers, explosive drives, step backs, dunks, fadeaways. It didn't matter who guarded him. It didn't matter what defense they ran. Everything went in. And the crowd wasn't even cheering anymore. They were stunned silent, watching in disbelief as MJ hit shot after shot, never breaking a sweat. It was like watching someone play NBA 2K on cheat mode in real life. By halftime, 37 points, exactly, and just like he said. He sat out the second half. Mission accomplished. Game won. Message delivered. That rookie never trash talked again. But the question remains, how did he know? How could someone predict their own stats like that, down to the exact number? It was almost as if Jordan had access to the source code of the universe, like he was reading from a script no one else could see. That wasn't confidence. That was prophecy. And maybe, just maybe, it wasn't human. 3. The 63-point game against Larry Bird. God disguised as Michael Jordan. The year was 1986. Michael Jordan was in just his second season in the NBA. A young star, yes, talented, clearly, but few expected what was about to unfold. The Chicago Bulls had barely squeaked into the playoffs. Their reward, a first-round matchup against the Boston Celtics, a dynasty. Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish. That team went 40-1 at home that year. They were practically unbeatable in the Boston Garden, a fortress of banners, legends, and ghosts. Nobody gave the Bulls a chance. And yet, Michael Jordan didn't just show up. He ascended. In Game 2 of the series, he walked onto that iconic parquet floor with a calmness that didn't match the moment. No fear, no hesitation, just purpose. Then the storm began. Fadeaways with a hand in his face. Floaters through double teams. Step backs, crossovers. Lightning fast drives to the rim. Shot after shot. It didn't matter who guarded him. McHale, Johnson, Bird, all tried, all failed. The Celtics were throwing everything they had at him. Traps, switches, physicality, but MJ was in a trance, a zone so deep it felt mystical. By the time the final buzzer sounded, the scoreboard read, Jordan, 63 points, the most points ever scored in an NBA playoff game, a record that still stands to this day. After the game, Larry Bird didn't talk like someone who had just won. He spoke like someone who had witnessed a miracle. That wasn't Michael Jordan out there. That was God disguised as Michael Jordan. Let that sink in. Larry Bird, one of the greatest to ever play the game. A man known for his competitiveness, his swagger, and his legendary trash talk, was now in awe. He had just been humbled. This wasn't just a performance. It was a collective awakening for the fans, the players, the coaches, the league. Everyone watching that game realized the same thing at the same time. This kid is different. This is not normal. Jordan had broken through the matrix. He wasn't playing basketball anymore. He was channeling something greater. Every shot, every movement, every moment felt like it was scripted by a higher power. It didn't matter that the Bulls lost the series. What mattered was what the world had just seen, a glimpse of divinity, wearing Tower 3, soaring above mortals. And from that day forward, the question was no longer, will Jordan be great? It was, are we watching something beyond human? For the eyes closed free throw. When swagger meets sorcery. The NBA is full of trash talk, but very few players could back it up like Michael Jordan. It was a regular season game, Bulls versus Denver Nuggets, a matchup that on paper didn't carry the weight of a playoff battle. But when MJ was on the court, every moment had potential for legend. That night, Dikembe Mutombo, a rookie at the time, was feeling himself. He was already becoming known for his shot blocking and his signature finger wag. And like many young players, he made the rookie mistake of talking trash to Michael Jordan. Bad idea. Mutombo reportedly teased MJ, saying he never saw him make a free throw with the game on the line. The crowd was buzzing. Players were chuckling. Mutombo was trying to get under the skin of the GOAT. Jordan didn't react with anger. He just smiled. That knowing, quiet smirk Jordan smile that said, you just woke something up. Later in the game, Jordan was fouled. He walked to the free throw line as usual, but then something unusual happened. He turned to Mutombo and said loud enough for the cameras to catch it, this one's for you, Mutombo. Eyes closed. He dribbled, paused, closed his eyes. Yes, literally closed his eyes. And with the coolness of a magician performing his favorite trick for the 100th time, he let the ball fly. Swish, nothing but net. The arena erupted. Teammates were howling. Fans jumped to their feet. Commentators were losing their minds. And Mutombo, he just stood there stunned. It wasn't just a shot. It was a message. A declaration that said, I can do this in my sleep, literally. Think about that for a moment. In the middle of a professional basketball game with thousands watching live, millions more on TV, Jordan closed his eyes, took the shot, and hit it. Who does that? This wasn't a pickup game. It wasn't practice. It was the NBA, the highest level of basketball on earth. And Jordan was toying with the game itself. That one shot symbolized everything that made MJ legendary. Unshakable confidence, mind-bending skill, showmanship at the highest level, and a deep love for the psychological warfare that came with competition. Jordan wasn't just trying to beat you. He wanted to get inside your head, to make you question reality, to make you realize you weren't just playing basketball, you were part of his highlight reel. The eyes closed free throw has since become one of those mythic moments in NBA lore, a story that sounds exaggerated until you watch the footage and realize it actually happened. And that's the thing with Jordan. You could hear the stories 100 times and still say, wait, did he really do that? Yes, he did. Because he wasn't just playing the game, he was redefining it. 5. The silent assassination of LaBradford Smith. When Jordan invented a villain. Not all assassins come with noise. Some strike silently, with surgical precision. And Michael Jordan? He didn't always need a reason to destroy you. Sometimes he invented one. Let's go back to March 1993. The Washington Bullets were facing the mighty Chicago Bulls. A young guard named LaBradford Smith, not exactly a household name, had the game of his life. He torched the Bulls for 37 points, effortless mid-range jumpers, confident drives, no fear, just buckets. It was a career night for Smith, a moment he might have told his kids about someday. But something else happened that night, or so we were told. After the game, Jordan claimed that LaBradford had approached him, patted him on the back, and smugly said, "Nice game, Mike." Those 3 words changed everything, because to Jordan, those words weren't polite. They were disrespectful. They were a challenge, a rookie daring to poke the bear. Jordan looked at the media and said, with cold calm, "Tomorrow, I'm dropping 37 in the first half." The Bulls were scheduled to play the Bullets again the next night in Washington. No travel lag, no excuses, just vengeance on the calendar. Fast forward 24 hours. First half ends. Jordan walks into the locker room. Box score, 36 points in the first half. He almost hit his exact prediction. By halftime, the game was essentially over. Jordan had completely dismantled LaBradford Smith, mentally, physically, and spiritually. He didn't just outplay him, he erased him. Smith, who had just 2 points at the half, faded into the background. His moment of glory, gone, like it never happened. But here's the twist. The moment that elevates this story from impressive to legendary. After the game, reporters asked Jordan more about Smith's comment. "Nice game, Mike." But no one else heard it. Smith himself denied it. Coaches, teammates, even trainers, nobody recalled it happening. And then Jordan, years later, finally admitted the truth. He never said it. That's right, he made it up. He created an insult out of thin air. He manufactured a villain. He imagined a slight just to give himself a reason to annihilate someone. Why? Because that's how he operated. Jordan wasn't just driven by competition. He was driven by personal vengeance, even when it wasn't real. He was the kind of competitor who needed a fire to burn. And if there wasn't one, he'd build it himself. This story has become one of the most iconic examples of Jordan's mental warfare. Not just with his opponents, but with his own mind. Think about that. He was so committed to domination that he turned fiction into fuel. A one-man myth-making machine, a psychological assassin. He didn't just want to beat you, he wanted to prove a point you didn't even know you made. And LaBradford Smith? He became a footnote in the book of Jordan. A chapter titled Imaginary Enemies, Real Consequences. 6. The DNA of Clutch, the shot. In 1989, some moments are bigger than the game. Some plays don't just win a match, they become eternal. And for Michael Jordan, the shot wasn't just a game winner, it was a statement, a signal to the world. This is what greatness looks like under pressure. Let's rewind to May 7th, 1989. NBA playoffs, Game 5. Chicago Bulls versus Cleveland Cavaliers. Series tied. Winner advances. Loser goes home. The tension in the Richfield Coliseum was so thick it pulsed through the TV. Fans holding their breath. Coaches pacing like generals before battle. Two teams who knew each other inside and out. Back and forth all game. And then chaos. The Cavs score with 3 seconds left, taking a 199 lead. The Bulls have no timeouts. Everything comes down to one play. The ball is inbounded to Jordan. He starts moving. 1, 2, 3 dribbles. The clock is ticking. Cavs defenders Craig Alo and Larry Nance are both chasing him. 2 long, athletic, locked-in defenders. But then, something unreal happens. Jordan leaps. He doesn't just jump. He floats as if suspended by fate. Alo jumps too, desperately trying to block him. But Jordan, in midair, does the impossible. He waits. He literally outweights gravity. In that fraction of a second, while everyone else is coming down, Jordan is still rising. And then he releases the ball. Buzzer. Swish. Game over. Bulls win. Jordan leaps into the air, fists pumping, eyes blazing. His teammates swarm him. But the world? The world just stood still. They called it the shot, and it became one of the most iconic moments in basketball history. Not just because of the result, but because of how it happened. Because here's the kicker, the play that was drawn up. It wasn't for Jordan to take the shot. Coach Doug Collins had designed a different look, a safer route, a team-based motion set, but Jordan didn't follow it. He looked at the situation, looked at the court, and decided, no, I've got this. And that's what separates good players from legends. Instinct. He didn't need a clipboard. He didn't need a script. He needed the ball. And in those 3 seconds, he relied on something deeper than training or tactics. He relied on what could only be described as extrasensory intelligence, a form of awareness that lives in the bones, in the blood, in the DNA of the truly elite. Pressure? He didn't just handle it. He became pressure. And he delivered. For millions watching, the shot was a single frame in time. But for those who study greatness, it was a masterclass in what it means to be clutch. This was more than a buzzer beater. It was Jordan declaring to the universe, when the world is watching, give me the ball. 7. Mind silence. Jordan in the flow state. There's a moment in every athlete's life, a rare, almost mystical zone where time bends, the world slows down, and performance transcends the physical. For Michael Jordan, this was not just a rare moment, it was a daily reality. Players, coaches, and sports psychologists who studied MJ's game noticed something extraordinary. Michael Jordan had the unique ability to enter an absolute flow state with almost effortless ease. What is this flow state? It's a place where the mind becomes perfectly silent. No distracting thoughts, no fear, no anxiety, just pure, crystal clear focus. It's like being wired into the game on a deeper, almost spiritual level. Here's what experts observed during these moments. His heart rate stayed incredibly steady, even in the highest pressure moments. While others' hearts raced or choked under stress, Jordan's body remained calm, steady, and ready. His decision-making became instantaneous yet precise. He didn't hesitate. He didn't second-guess. Every pass, every move, every shot was executed in a seamless flow of action. His awareness of the court was superhuman. Players, defenders, even the clock seemed to slow down for him. Jordan could see openings that others couldn't, anticipate moves before they happened, and react with near-prescient accuracy. Phil Jackson, the legendary Bulls coach and Zen practitioner, often described Jordan in one word: a Zen master on the court. That was no exaggeration. During games, it was as if Jordan's mind temporarily left his body, freeing him from ordinary human constraints. He was no longer just a basketball player, he was a being operating on another level. This mental silence, this deep flow, was his secret weapon. Because when the noise of the crowd, the pressure of the moment, and the chaos of the game all threatened to overwhelm, Jordan found peace in the eye of the storm. That peace turned into power. That calm became unstoppable energy. It's why when he was in the zone, he was almost impossible to stop. This state of mind wasn't something he stumbled upon by chance. It was honed over years of relentless practice, discipline, and an almost spiritual devotion to mastering both his body and mind. Jordan taught us that greatness isn't just physical skill, it's mastering the inner game, the silence within. Because in the silence, true champions are born. Bonus, the last shot, 1998 Finals. It was the final game of the 1998 NBA Finals, the culmination of an era. The Chicago Bulls were on the brink of winning their 6th championship in 8 years, a dynasty powered by the unmatchable skill and will of Michael Jordan. The clock was winding down, the stakes nothing less than historic. With the score close and seconds ticking away, Jordan made a crucial steal, snatching the ball from the opposing team with surgical precision. From that moment, time seemed to bend to his will. He drove down the court with that unmistakable grace and determination, crossing over his defender in a move that left everyone frozen in disbelief. His feet barely seemed to touch the floor, as if he was gliding toward destiny itself. Jordan then stopped abruptly, poised like a coiled spring, and released the shot. Swish! The ball cut through the air, flawless and true. The final shot of Michael Jordan's legendary Bulls career. The arena erupted. Fans held their breath. The Bulls clinched the title. No timeouts called. No signs of nervousness. No hesitation. No misses. It was perfection. It felt as if the entire universe had been scripted to that single, breathtaking moment. That last shot wasn't just a game winner. It was the perfect punctuation mark on a story of greatness, resilience, and mythic achievement. In that instant, Michael Jordan didn't just win a championship. He cemented his place as an immortal legend. Michael Jordan was more than a player. He was a living legend, a being that transcended body and mind and became myth. These stories aren't just about basketball. They're about unbreakable will, unmatched mindset, and a mysterious connection to something beyond human. If you like this video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments which of these stories shocked you the most. And if you know another Jordan legend, share it with us. See you in the next video. And remember, being human is a choice. Jordan chose to become a legend.